Picture this. You just got paid. It's a Friday, the weather's nice, and you're feeling good about life. You decide to treat yourself. Maybe it's a new phone, a new car, some new furniture for the apartment. You swipe the card, you feel that little rush, and for a moment, honestly, everything feels fine. Like you're doing the adult thing, like you're building a life. And then Monday comes, you check your account, and you're right back to where you started. Or worse. My name's Robert, and I spend probably way too much time thinking about money, the psychology behind financial decisions, and why some people seem to accumulate wealth almost quietly while others work just as hard, earn decent money, and somehow never get ahead. That gap, that frustrating, maddening gap is what I keep coming back to. And one of the biggest reasons for it, one that almost nobody talks about directly, is this habit we all have of insisting on buying things new. And look, by the end of this video, I want you to see something that genuinely shifted how I think about every purchase I make. Because this isn't just about being cheap or frugal or whatever word makes you roll your eyes. It's about understanding where wealth actually leaks out of your life, quietly, consistently, dollar by dollar, and how to stop it. Let's start with the one you've probably heard, but maybe never really felt in your bones. When you buy a new car off the lot, it loses somewhere between 15 and 25% of its value the moment you drive it home. Not after a year, not after an accident. The second those tires hit public road. You've basically paid a premium just for the privilege of being the first person to sit in that seat. Now, here's what gets me. Most people know this, they've heard it, and they still do it, because the feeling of buying new is powerful in a way that logic can't always compete with. There's something that feels responsible about a new car, like it'll be more reliable, like you won't be inheriting someone else's problems. And sometimes that's true. But you know what's also true? A 2-year-old certified pre-owned version of that same car with 20,000 miles on it is basically the same car. Same reliability window, same features, a third cheaper. You let someone else absorb that depreciation cliff and you just walk in after. The takeaway here isn't never buy a car. It's the new premium is almost never worth what you're paying for it. Let me tell you about something a little more personal. A few years ago, I was furnishing an apartment, and I went into a big furniture store. You know the type, big showroom, little pencils, meatballs in the food court, and I spent probably $3,000. Felt good. Everything matched. It looked like a real adult lived there. 2 months later, a friend of mine had her place looking just as nice. I asked where she got her stuff. She said Facebook Marketplace, thrift stores, and one estate sale. She'd spent maybe $400 total. I felt a very specific kind of stupid in that moment. Here's what I didn't understand then. So much of what we pay for when we buy retail is not the object itself. It's the marketing, the packaging, the convenience, and mostly, honestly, the psychological comfort of the transaction feeling clean. No awkward pickup from a stranger's house, no question marks about the history. Just walk in, pay, done. But that comfort is costing you a fortune over a lifetime of purchases. Furniture, clothing, electronics, tools, sporting equipment, kitchen appliances. The secondhand market for all of these things is enormous and largely untapped by people who consider themselves financially savvy. You can get a KitchenAid mixer that will outlive you for $60, a Patagonia jacket for $20, a solid oak dining table for $100. The stuff is out there. The question is whether the discomfort of finding it is worth more to you than the money you'd save. Here's where I want to slow down a little, because I think this is the part that actually matters most. There's a psychological phenomenon, well, there are several, but bear with me, where our spending decisions are almost never made in a vacuum. We buy things in relation to what the people around us are buying, our coworkers, our neighbors, our social media feeds. And when everyone around you seems to be upgrading constantly, buying new becomes less about the thing and more about the signal, the message. I'm doing fine. I'm current. I'm keeping up. And this, I think, is where the real financial damage happens, because it's not any one purchase that breaks you. It's the pattern. It's the quiet, ongoing commitment. Let me put a rough number on it, just so it's not abstract. If the new premium, the extra you pay to have something new versus gently used, averages even $100 per month across your spending habits, that's $1,200 a year. Invested at a modest 7% return over 20 years, that's nearly $50,000. $50,000 that you spent on the feeling of newness. That's not a small thing. Okay, so here's something that kind of blew my mind when I started thinking about it more carefully. The marketing around new products isn't really selling you the product. It's selling you an identity, a version of yourself that's successful, current, pulled together. Think about any phone ad you've ever seen. They're not showing you the processor specs. They're showing you a beautiful person laughing with friends, capturing perfect moments, moving through the world with ease. You're buying the fantasy of that life. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel good about your life. That's human. But when you understand that you're being sold a feeling rather than a function, that the 3-year-old phone in your pocket takes basically the same photos as the new one, you start to see the transaction more clearly. And once you see it, it's hard to unsee. The question to ask before any new purchase is, am I buying this because it genuinely serves me better, or am I buying this because it makes me feel a certain way about myself? Both are valid reasons to spend money, but knowing which one you're doing changes everything. Now, I want to be careful here not to make this sound like a lecture about going full minimalist and living on rice and thrift store pants. That's not the point. The point is to be strategic about where new actually matters. New mattress, probably worth it. A new mattress is a health investment you sleep on literally every night. New safety equipment for your kid? Yes, obviously. New medications, certain tech you rely on professionally? Sure. The peace of mind and reliability might justify the premium. But a new couch, a new TV when the one you have works fine, a new car when a 2-year-old model does the exact same thing, new clothes when your closet is already full. That's where the discipline pays off. Develop what I'd call a second-hand reflex. Before you buy anything over, say, $50, spend 10 minutes on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist, whatever platform makes sense. Just look. You might find the same item at a third the price, barely used, from someone who also got caught in the new purchase trap and is now trying to recoup some of their loss. You're not being cheap. You're being the person on the right side of that transaction. The wealthy, not the people who look wealthy, but the people who actually are wealthy, tend to share one quiet habit that doesn't make for exciting content. They don't spend money on signals. They spend money on function, on experience, on things that grow in value. And they do it without needing the box to be unopened or the tag to still be attached. The gap between what something costs new and what it costs used is essentially free money. Every time you capture that gap, you're not just saving, you're redirecting resources towards something that actually builds your life. An emergency fund, investments, a house, experiences that matter. It accumulates. Quietly, consistently, it accumulates. So here's where I want to leave you. You're not broke because you don't earn enough. Most people reading this earn enough to build real financial